Hello, everyone. This is Coach Mike Ronchetti, and I'm excited to have a fellow business owner from Indiana with us today. It's my pleasure to welcome Jennifer Wiese to this show today. Hello, Jennifer.
Hey Mike, how you doing?
Exciting. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm looking forward to this interview. I'm excited about hearing about your business. Let's make this happen. Hey,
All
thanks.
right, let's do it.
Yes. Let's start with you introducing yourself and tell me a bit about your personal story. For example, like where you're born, where you're living now, a bit about your family, hobbies. And I also like to throw in the question of, hey, if your family were to tell us a little story about you, what might be a story, a fun story, hopefully.
Well, I am Jennifer Wiese, and I am a native Hoosier. So I was born and raised in Fort Wayne, Indiana, until I went away to college at Ball State University. And then I came back to live in Indiana for a little bit and then got some experience in South Florida. Um, and then really just grew an appreciation and a love for the Midwest. And so I returned back to Indiana in the early 1990s. And I met my husband. We got married, and we had four babies. We're the parents of four sons who are adult men now, but I still call them my boys. They'll be my boys forever. But so living here in middle Indiana in a small town called Noblesville, it's very charming. And I love the outdoors. I'm a runner, so I love running and
Mm-hmm.
cycling and just getting fresh air in my lungs. And nature is really kind of where I go to get recharged and find solace. And so just a lot of outdoor activities. My husband and I love hiking. We've done the majority of the Indiana state parks. We just have two left. So we're going to try to get those checked off this weekend, maybe.
Oh,
So,
fantastic. Wow. There's a lot of parks. Funny story, maybe here and there.
oh my goodness. Funny story. Mm, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. I feel like every day is kind of funny. Something funny happens just about every day. So here's a funny one. So I have that auto start feature on my car. So this morning I auto start my car. I'm going to a 5:30 Pilates class, and so I go get in the car, drive to class, and getting ready to get out of the car, and I realize I left my keys at home on the key ring on the key hanger, and so I couldn't go into my class because I couldn't turn my car off. So, all right, that's not really funny. I mean, funny, haha, but kind of
Well,
frustrating. But I got to laugh at things like that.
yeah, life happens, doesn't it? I
It
love
does.
it. So
It
it
does.
is wonderful. Well, in the same vein that life happens, you're choosing an interesting track of doing a business. So can you tell us about how the business came about and at what point you basically had the confidence to say, I think I can start this. I'm going to make it happen.
Oh, yes. Well, so my background is in fashion merchandising and marketing. And so I spent the majority of my, working years as a teenager and a young woman and in and after college in the world of fashion. And then when I had babies and I kind of hung up my fashion hat and put my mom hat on, and that was my full-time gig. And so when our son was diagnosed with autism back in 2007, we looked at what could we do to support him? How could we support him in the best way possible? And we ended up doing a deep dive on all the things. And back in 2007, there were a lot of things that were very experimental. There's no cure. You probably know
Mhm.
that there's no cure for autism, but there are certainly things that you can do to help support and give just the best chance, right? The just best chance for outcome for a happy, healthy, fulfilling life. And so we realized we learned about gluten free, and that seemed to be something that we could get our hands around. And so,
Mm.
as there weren't a whole ton of really great gluten free options out there in the marketplace, my mom and I just got busy and we recreated our favorite family recipes into gluten free. And our son was really seeing some really positive benefits from gluten free. Things like he was sleeping better, he was more aware of his surroundings, he was more conversational, just overall a more engaging, happier little boy. So those were some of the things that we saw early on. And because we so it started out as we identified a problem. There weren't very many gluten-free choices. We created a solution in our own kitchen, and then we did some farmers markets for a couple years just to kind of test our recipes to see if we really had something that people wanted. And I am a giving kind of a person. It's just my personality, and I'm also a problem solver. And so I love to pair those two things together. And I didn't go into this creating recipes and feeding my family specifically for my son gluten free so that it would become a business, but that's how it ended up because of my
Oh,
personality and because of the need that I saw. I wanted to help others um, enjoy the things that we had already created in our kitchen. So that's how it got started.
wow. So tell us a little bit more about the Be Free. Where's it at? Where's it at in its life cycle? And again, obviously, we want the listeners to check out the company via the link that's inside of our description here, and check out their LinkedIn pages too. That'd be great. But now tell us a little bit about the company itself.
So we are 15 years in. So we just last month celebrated our 15-year anniversary. And so in 2010, after doing a couple years of farmers markets, I had just the confirmation that we had something the market wanted. And I had amazing support from my family and from my community. And they really rallied and supported me and gave me the confidence that I needed to make it a business. And so back in 2010, it was, I was making everything in a little rented kitchen in our town. And I had deliveries that I would make on my own. So I started in our own backyard of Noblesville. And my very first retail customer was Earth Fare and then Whole Foods. And there I would just, knock on the door, literally knock on the back door, introduce myself and ask if they would be interested in tasting my samples and bringing in my products to put on their store shelves. So that's how it started. And today we are in about almost 4,000 retail stores across the country. We're in every state. We have a variety of products that are packaged, ready to eat snack products. Um, and, we continue to look for new retailers, new places where people are buying food and eating food that not only want good gluten free options, but they need more variety. So we're going to be in airports next month, all over the country. And yeah, so our focus is to continue to, put out the word and let people know who we are and what we have to offer so that we can continue to grow.
Fascinating. Can I just ask a follow-up question to that? So it sounds like you figured out the niche that maybe I'm misunderstanding this. You're not a broad food manufacturer. You're kind of a convenience setting using this product base to get your product somewhere it's not nobody's at really. I mean, gluten
Right.
free at a convenience store setting, or whether it be a retailer or whatever, and that's that snack quick thing area. Is that what I hear you say?
Yeah, yes. Our product is really versatile. So in some retailers like Kroger, we sit in the granola section because
Oh,
it is a ready to eat snackable granola.
uh-huh.
But in other retailers, you might find us in the trail mix, like Meyer has us in with the trail mix.
Okay.
So it's super versatile. And then, we have a smaller grab and go package. That's
Mhm.
great for check stand, convenience stores, airports, things like that.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you for that explanation. So kind of going to now a little bit more. Let's talk about some of the people behind you. I mean, I realize that it sounds like maybe your family or whatever was there, but share a story about someone who pushed or inspired you that you could do it, and the impact that person had. Maybe just more one person in your mind, or maybe we'll get to a couple other people later. But if there's one in mind, please tell us about it.
Yeah, yeah, there is. There was somebody early on. Actually, he was a distributor, a regional distributor in our town, and he was really the first person that took a chance on me. There actually are two, but this one individual, he believed in what I had to offer. He saw the need and the vision that we had for our company, and he took a chance on me. And even when, okay, so here's a story. even when there was a foreign object found in one of our products, and that was
Mhm.
way back when we were manufacturing everything in-house. So this is the early days of like 2011. Our company's much different now. We have major manufacturing, running multiple shifts for our product. But back then, when it was done in our little tiny kitchen in downtown Noblesville, there was something that one of his customers found and brought it to his attention. And he shared that with me and continued to work with me. Like some others might have been, you know what, like this is not going to go forward for us. It's just not going to be a good fit. And, that the relationship might have ended, but not with him.
Mhm.
So we've had a really nice, long relationship over the years, and so it's been sweet, and a lot of those relationships have repeated themselves. Being a woman in a food manufacturing and consumer packaged goods industry is typically pretty male dominated. So just building some of those skills that I didn't have in the early days of being confident and just being just confident is probably the best word, and effective and efficient. I've had many people come alongside me and help build me up.
Wow, that great story. Thank you for sharing that with our listeners. So, what's your biggest learning as a business owner to this point?
There's so many. Oh my gosh, Mike, there's been so many learning. And often because I don't have a food background, I don't have a manufacturing background, I've learned, and we as a team have learned things the really, really hard way, right? But I try to get better and smarter. Um, one of, I think the biggest thing that I've learned is to just not let naysayers knock you down, right? Not everybody's going to believe in what you have. Not everybody's going to believe you're the person that can get the job done, nor will they see the vision that you do. But if you have three things, if you have a product that has sellability, you have the passion, and you have the capability to produce that product, then you've got something that is viable. And so, um, just having people around you that will support and lift you up, and putting guardrails around you so that you don't listen to the negative, and you just continue with your vision and
Mhm.
staying
Yeah,
focused has been a big thing for me as well.
got it, got it. Kind of in the same vein, I'm going to ask a little bit more detailed question, maybe about a process situation or a change or whatever. It says, we basically believe that the businesses don't happen without by being in isolation. So tell me about where your biggest challenge has been, where a fellow business owner helped you out in some way. I mean, you mentioned a distributor, but now it's a different example. Maybe in the manufacturing, maybe it's in packaging. I don't know. Just some other thought.
Yeah, so our and this is kind of a scenario that is going on right now where we have a high demand for a new product that's launching in the market, and we're having some challenges with um, getting our packaging, getting our cartons, getting all those things to come together in the manufacturing location before it can be scheduled for production. So our manufacturer has been really, really accommodating, and just looking for how can they adjust their schedule so that they can meet our needs and their other customers. So those
Yeah.
things just take a relationship, right? So we've worked really hard to build relationships with all of our partners, whether it's our manufacturer, our suppliers, all those things that are vital. We think about a consumer packaged goods item that gets on the shelf. There's so many things that come into play before you ever even see it on a shelf. So so having those relationships, but it's just been really nice to work with somebody who is accommodating. They see the sense of urgency, and they want to make the launch of a new product happen. And so they're willing to be accommodating. They're willing to move some pieces so that our launch can be successful.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, no, I can understand how time sensitive it is right now. I'm sure it's occupying a lot of your daytime and might give you some keep you up at night scenarios that
Right.
happens. Got it. So if I'm again, I kind of keep on going back to the people side of this a little bit more and continue on with how they impact us all. So if you're looking at picking three people in your business journey, and again, you have a very 15-year experience of journey that you could say you're most grateful for being there to helping you through that growth period, who might they be, and how did they help you?
Well, my husband is number one. I mean, he's the one that comes to mind first because he is right beside me, and ahead and in front, and he's solid, and he is he sees the things in me that I don't see, and we are a really good team. So we um, we build each other up and we complement each other with with a skill set that the other one doesn't possess. So he would be my number one, and he's constantly keeping me focused or redirecting me if I need redirected, to stay away from the shiny objects and stay focused on the really important thing and the mission and the why we do what we do. And then my son would be the other. So I mentioned our son with autism. He is the reason BeeFree exists. And if it weren't for him, I would have never, probably not discovered gluten free, not in this vein
Yeah,
anyways. And I'm certain I wouldn't have started a food manufacturing company.
got it.
um, right. And then I would say my mom. I mean, so you get the sense that I'm very family oriented, like
Yeah,
it means everything to me. But without the support of my family, I don't know that I would have the drive and the just the passion to do the things that I do. So I would say it would be those three. And my mom from the beginning has been my biggest supporter and cheerleader. And when I look at her life and all the things that she's overcome, she's a polio survivor, she's a cancer survivor. I mean, the girl is just pure grit and guts and just wrapped in like this huge, massive heart. So, yeah.
nice. Thank you for those three names. That's wonderful. So we're going to shift the gear a little bit, looking at the future rather than the present and the past. So as you look for the next 3 years or so, 2 3 years, what do you think your number one point of growth opportunity or challenge that you're going to have to achieve those goals?
We're looking at airports and venues and convenience stores. So we're looking at those three segments of the marketplace for as far as opportunities for growth. Those are we have dipped our toe into airports, but with this big expansion we have next month with Hudson News, that's really going to unlock a lot for us. And we're looking at massive growth with that alone, but we really feel like that will kind of legitimize our business and our products in some other channels as well. And then right along with that, some of the challenges that will come along with that are cash. So it takes a lot of money to
Yeah.
get a product in massive volumes like that onto store shelves. So I look at those as that as probably being one of the biggest challenges.
Got it. Thank you. So I want to get into a little bit of philosophy here for a second. So Jim Rome, who happens to be a business coach legend in our world, as far as he just passed away the last year or so, but he's basically known for a lot of educational ideas. But he came along with this thing of you become the average of the five people that we spend the most time with. What's your opinion about some folks who basically say, business owners, I'm going to do this on my own?
I don't think that's a good idea. And I mean, like, I don't, humans weren't really designed to live on their own anyways. That's just my opinion. But I am a faithful woman, and I do believe that, God made us to be in community with others.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, it makes a much happier journey when you get to share it and experience life with other people. But also, um, I think that people sense if somebody is a one person kind of show, and not just a one person show to get to the next step, because that's necessary. That was me, right? I had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, but a one person show, as in, I know everything, I can do it all on my own. I just, I haven't seen that be successful for anybody. Um, I've been on the planet for 60 years, and
Yeah.
and I've been in business for 15 years, and I have four sons. I've seen a decent amount,
Yeah.
in my years, and I just don't see that that's really successful or sustainable.
Got it. Thank you for those observations as well as your food to thought there. So Jennifer, it sounds like you've been blessed with really some incredible people who've helped you through your journey. What would you like to say to them?
Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for pouring into me on the days, especially that I didn't think were were going to end well. And just thank you for supporting me and cracking that door. It's really all I really have kind of ever really wanted. And asked of people, like, if I have a favor, I just like, would you just crack that door open, and would you maybe just listen to my idea and see if it's a good fit on your end. And if it is, then great. And if it's not, I 100% understand. But I would say, just thank you for sharing your time, your resources, and for believing in me so that I could carry out our passion, and together we could change lives together. Because what we do at BeeFree is not just a food product that we're putting on shelves, we're changing lives through the job training that we have for people with autism. And it literally, I see it every day. I see the lives change that we get to participate in. So it's
Mm.
um it's a it's a group effort, right? And everybody who buys our product or listens to a podcast or shares our story, they all get to participate and feel good in what we're doing, because it's a collaborative effort. So I'm really thankful and really appreciative.
Wow, nicely said. Thank you. So Jennifer, it's been a real pleasure having you speak with me today. Thank you for being on my show.
Oh, I appreciate you so much, Mike. Thank you.